Sahana bhavatu Sahanau bhunattu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Together we'll chant Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, verses 1 to 10.
Om Atha Shodashodhyayah Shri Bhagavanuvacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhihi Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Dhanam Dhamascha Yajñascha Swadhyayastapa Ajavam Ahimsa Satyamakkrodha Tyaga Shantirapaishunam Daya Bhuteshvaloluptvam Madhavam Hirachapalam Tejakshamadritishaucham Adroho Natimanita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata Dambho Darpobhimanascha Krodhah Parushyamenvacha Ajnanam Chabhijatasya Partha Sampadamasurim Daivi Sampad Vimokshaya Nibandhaya Surimata Mashuchas Sampadam Daivim Abhijatosi Pandava Dvau Bhuta Sargau Lokesmin Daiva Asura Evacha Daivo Vistarashah Proktaha Asuram Partha Me Shrunu Pravrittim Cha Nivrittim Cha Janana Vidurasuraha Na Shaucham Napi Chacharaha Na Satyam Teshu Vidyate Asatyamapatishtham Te Jagadahuranishwaram Aparasparasambhutam Kimanyat Kamahaitukam Etam Drishtimavashtabhya Nashtatmanolpabuddhayah Prabhavantyugrakarmanah Kshayaya Jagato Hitaha Kamamashritya Dushpuram Dambhamanamadhanvitaha Mohagृहीत्वा Sadgrahan Pravartante Shuchivrataha.
Ahimsa Satyam Akrodha tyagaha, shantihi, apaishunam. Apaishunam, not speaking ill of others, not saying something negative about others all the time. There's so much enjoyment talking about the ills of others. It's amazing. And when I was hearing the two staff members today, they were carrying on and on about how some particular bhabhi did some particular thing. And they were completely in agreement that she should not have done that. There's so much enjoyment in the fact that you're saying something negative about somebody. Now, what we don't understand, though, it all just seems like great fun to sit down and say how bad people are. Two things happen out of it. One is this happiness converts itself to agitation very quickly. Because while you enjoyed that gossip, that's going to go on in your mind and create agitation because you're thinking negative. And the second thing that happens is, which is, I think, even worse, no problem being agitated. Be agitated, you deserved it. But what is more problematic in this is it gives us a sense of moral superiority. And that is what is really the sort of hidden or the unseen effect. At least you say agitated, so you at least know. But the unseen effect of this, which is that feeling of moral superiority, it's the worst thing to have, especially as a sadhak. Why is it so bad to have, especially as a sadhak?
Because it keeps us detached from other people, keeps us from growing.
Okay,
It enhances instead of reducing our ego.
very good. Because our ego, which you are doing sadhana to reduce, the very purpose of it is being negated, and you don't even know this. It's just completely negated. All the hard work you did, gone like that, fat. Imagine. That is that example, which is there in Indian also, and is there in Greek mythology also, of this man pushing a boulder to the top of the mountain. And then whole day he spends pushing that boulder to the top of the mountain. And then when the boulder reaches, he gives it one kick and it goes tumbling down. The next morning he has to do this all over again. Now don't go looking for this man who's pushing that boulder up. He's trying to tell us a story so that we learn something out of it. This is what we do. You do so much sadhana and then kick it. What are you kicking it for? Yes, Prashant?
Good morning. Ma'am, general question I can ask. Ma'am, jealousy is what part of this thing, ma'am? It is our desire coming into us.
Yes.
That desire we have, that's why we are jealous.
Yes. We can only be jealous under one condition. I want something, but somebody else has it.
The person has, so it's okay. What can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
Ma'am, situation one. Other person, some behavior triggers me. I get triggered. Situation two. Other person's trigger, I control it. I manage it. Situation three. I'm not well physically. I'm unwell. This trigger actually affects me. So I just had this confusion. Why does I mean I know I'm thinking wrongly. Why does cross affect subtle here? Because I was unwell. I was unable to handle that trigger. What am I thinking wrong?
Very good. Good question. I mean, I'm glad you realize that there is something wrong here. And so can anyone answer this? It's a very interesting question in the sense, I mean, you should be able to answer it given that you all are students of philosophy. So what's your answer here? I think
When
anyone
he's
should answer it. Prashant also will answer it, but now it's his question. So yeah, Deepraj, go ahead.
when he's unwell, a lot of his other desires, which were previously being met, are not being met. So that creates an additional agitation, which builds on top of that other agitation and it spurs out. That can be one reason.
Very good. Very close.
Also, the identification of the body becomes a lot more when you're not well. So maybe because of that also you get triggered.
You can't answer it like that because that's his question. The body is not well. Why is my mind affected? That is his problem with this whole scenario. He knows that there's something not right, okay, because there are multiple factors here. Like one principle he knows for certain, and like everybody in the class knows, that the gross cannot affect the subtle. Now here I am handling a situation. Okay, somebody is irritating me, I'm dealing with it. Now my body is not well. Now I'm not able to deal with it. So what happened here? The only change is my body is not well. So that means my body has what happened to my body has affected my capacity to deal. But that's not correct because that's not possible. The body cannot affect the mind as the body is gross, mind is subtle. So get his question. His question is based on that. Right, Prashant? That's what your question is based on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The knowledge is not really digested.
If you wish to take that kind of angle, then you'll have to say how come he has done it earlier. What happened now that his body is not well and something has changed? Because that's where the crux of his question is.
He has identified with the body.
Okay.
So whatever is happening to body is happening to his mind.
Okay.
So it's situational. If the situation is conducive, only then can he operate at that level where there's no trigger.
Then he won't get an answer to his question because his question is based on how can the gross affect the subtle.
Is it because there are also sense centers in the mind which trigger these the stimuli? What we feel is not just the gross body, but it's a trigger in the mind which actually activates it.
Very good. You're coming closer. What? Bharat, mind's desire for health is not met. Very good. You all are going closer and closer. Yeah, Taran?
Yeah, hi, good morning. Yeah, I think I am also alluding to the same thing which was just said now. We assume that it's mind that exists in body, but I think it's body that exists in mind. Because subtle,
Just answer his question.
yeah, means this gross cannot
No,
affect the subtle affects gross, right? So mind, it is body that exists in the mind. So the unwellness of the body is experienced earlier because it is grosser, but the root cause is already happened in the mind.
No, you're not answering his question. His question is, he's focused on the question. His question is, gross cannot affect the subtle. Then how come at the situation that I was able to handle before my illness, I'm not able to handle during my illness?
Yeah, it implies, it interprets in the same way, right? If the body is not well, it implies that mind was not well, right? Because subtle is impacting the body. So this is my scenario. Now I get external trigger. Now because my mind is,
Yeah, don't give examples because that only diffuses it. So I think your point is that originally the mind was not well. And
Yeah.
now the body is not.
Yeah, means body is not well because of something
Right.
in mind is not
Okay,
well.
yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Let's take that.
Okay.
But I think Prashant will argue with you. I don't know whether he will argue, but I think he may argue that my mind was not well to begin with also. But I was still handling the situation. So what happened now when my body fell in?
Yeah, the level of unwellness changes. Means if something is starting impacting my body, that means that my mind is getting more unwell, right? It is not,
Okay,
it's
so your
always unwell.
answer is
The
okay.
mind is always unwell. That I agree with you.
No,
When you,
let's go to the point. Otherwise, Taran, it gets too complicated. Just keep to the main idea and be as brief as you possibly can. So Taran's response to that, if you ask him this question, Prashant, I don't know whether you were planning to ask him this question, that if it was a sickness of the mind, then that would be common in both conditions. But he's saying, no, now your body has become sick, that means it shows your mind has become more sick. And therefore, now your body has shown. That is his response. At least he's addressing the issue of gross affecting the subtle. Okay, so
Jankiji,
yes,
maybe it's because there is no agitation, so there is no clarity of thought.
there is no agitation.
There
so,
is agitation,
uh-huh.
which is increased because of the body not being well. And so there is as a result, there is no clarity of thought.
Then you're not answering his question, because his question derives from the fact that how come anything happening to the body affects the mind. So you're saying something's happening to my body and I'm agitated, then his question still stands. Everybody please focus. From next Sunday, you're all going to have group discussion. And please focus on what the question is. At least Momita, Deepraj, even Taran have tried to address the question. Or Bharat also. They're addressing it. How is it possible that the body, anything happening to the body is affecting the mind? Because by the law, body cannot affect the mind because gross cannot affect the subtle. So focus on the issue that's the problem. First, when you all are doing group discussion, first find out what is the issue that's the problem. And then focus with it with laser pointed precision. Otherwise, it's very easy to beat around the bush. Focus. What is troubling the questioner? And do I know the answer to that? All janam bhar ki cheeze don't tell. Only that particular thing. So Vedanta wisdom, which I assume is Omkar. Affecting is defined as changing it permanently such that the original state does not remain. In this, the gross body is not affecting the subtle as per this definition. Interesting. I mean, I'm very glad that all of you all are at least addressing the question. Right or wrong, let's not worry about. At least addressing the question. So Omkar's answer to you, Prashant, is that the mind is not affected by the changes in the body insofar as there has been no permanent change on the mind because of the illness. However, Omkar, in this case, I think Prashant will argue with you. I don't know why I'm doing both sides argument now. You want to argue with him, you do directly. You're happy with Omkar's answer, or you have something to say?
Yeah, please.
So what I was trying to say was that you were quoting the law, which is that
Omkar,
the
don't
gross.
repeat yourself. Don't repeat yourself.
Okay.
Did I not paraphrase you correctly? Right, then don't repeat. Now, if Prashant has a counterpoint, then let him give it. Do you have? One second, Aditi, let them finish.
I mean, temporary affecting and permanent affecting, I'm not sure. I mean, anyhow, it's the body which is affecting the mind. In both cases, answered also, right? I'm not actually so
Yes,
convinced.
correct. Very good. I mean, very good means this is Prashant's response to you, Omkar. What are you making this difference between permanent and temporary? It has affected. So he is not willing to take your answer. Omkar, I know this is going to confuse you a lot, but you are referring to something incorrectly. I know what you're referring to, but it's not.
I think we had defined. I had asked a similar question about.
That was about coma. Remember, you are getting two completely different situations mixed up. Okay, we are not
No,
going
my
there.
original question was that if the gross does not affect the subtle, why are we laying so much emphasis on morning studies, as in the time of study, and what we had.
Okay, okay. We won't go over there right now. We'll only deal currently with Prashant. Bharat, body isn't affecting, it's the mind's desire not met which is affecting it.
But then in both situations, it was the same. Desires were, we meant to say that the physical health is not met. That desire is not being met.
Or we don't know what desire is not being met. We are not talking about which desire is not being met. The important thing to recognize over here, it is not the body's ill health that affects us. Because if Ramana Maharishi fell ill, would he behave any differently? Okay, Buddha felt ill, would he behave any differently? So what is happening here is sorry.
Sorry. I was just saying,
No,
is
no.
it the sequence is that the external stimuli is a subtle thought or a desire affecting the mind, like Bharat says, and that is influencing the body, and then the body is reacting. It's not that the body independently is reacting at a gross level to the subtler mind.
No, wait, you've gone on another thing. I think you've taken off from Taran. No. What he is saying is body cannot affect mind.
Yeah.
What is it, Prashant is saying? But when I'm unwell, I can't seem to be able to handle the challenges that I was handling when I was well. Okay, so how come the illness of the body causes affects my ability to handle a challenge which I was handling earlier? Somebody was irritating him earlier, so he couldn't manage it first. Then in stage 2, he learned how to manage it, and in stage 3, he says, I fell ill, and again I went back to square one. How did that happen? Because whatever happened to my body should not have affected this ability of mine. Right, Prashant? You have to say yes. And that's your question. So he said, so here it seems like the gross is affecting the subtle. But he knows gross cannot affect the subtle. So he doesn't know how to, how does all this stuff fit with one another? Okay, so the answer is, or one answer you could consider is, when you're ill, it is not your objectivity about the trigger is missing. When the current is slow, the mind was.
No, please ignore that. Sorry.
Okay, so where was I? So you know that the gross cannot affect the subtle, correct? But you feel that illness disturbs my mind. But illness doesn't have the capacity to disturb your mind. If illness had the capacity to disturb your mind, then Buddha should have had the same reaction, or Ramana Maharishi should have the same reaction, but they don't. So what has happened is something in the mind is being affected. Now, what is it? It could be a desire for health. It could be the additional pressure of the inconvenience. It could be a host of things, but they are all in the mind. Right?
So condition.
So because now you have more things in the mind to deal with, your intellect, which is not strong enough, was not able to counter all these various things the mind is going through. And therefore you feel, oh, I could do that then, but I can't do it now. That's not a correct comparison, because you were lifting, say, 1 kg when you were dealing with that. Now suddenly you got 10 kg. So the poor intellect is not able to do it.
That 10 kgs is not due to because of this body.
No, it's the mind only. It's always the mind.
I mean that mind, that 10 kg in the mind has happened due to body, right?
No, it has happened because your mind is not enjoying the fact that you're unwell. If it had been body, then Buddha would have the same result.
But then Buddha's level of this thing is so high that this is negligible. For a person with very less stability, a simple trigger can affect.
Yeah.
So
that's in the mind, not because of the body. Anything could be.
So the first condition and third condition, there are not the same conditions. Mind level is different.
Yeah. It is just forget body or all, take anything else. You are training yourself to not speak rudely to anyone, let us say. And nowadays you're being very polite, very sweet to everyone. And then you're in office. And then somebody's saying something, boss is saying you have to give this in the next 10 minutes. People are coming and talking to you, say, just get off all of you. Okay? Now you said something rude. But what happened here? The strain has increased at that point. So what you were managing earlier, because now the strain is more, you're not managing it because you were handling only don't speak rude and you were remembering that and doing it. But now when there are 15 things pressurizing your mind, you're no longer able to maintain all in equilibrium.
Janki that's what I meant when I said clarity. Because of too much of agitation, the person is not able to think clearly, is what I was trying to clarity.
That was right. But what you said wrong, can you identify?
No.
Because of the illness, you're agitated.
Acha, that is wrong.
Yeah, because his question is that. How can it be possible?
Correct. Thank you.
Thank you,
ma'am. Now what all? Omkar?
No, Taran was before me.
Taran's finished. He just finished.
No, I had actually another point. So
another point. Oh, okay. Go ahead. Sorry, I thought it was the same hand raise.
no, I lowered it and then raised it again. Actually. Okay. So when we are taking example of say Ramana Maharishi or anyone Buddha or something like that, right? So I think there is a factor that body affected in the sense that there were cases where they were not well and they didn't see the devotees. Means the regular day-to-day activity was impacted. They didn't continue with the devotees coming to them. Okay, whenever they were like.
But what is that got to do with anything? They didn't see the devotee doesn't mean.
Yeah, means they were not in a state to reply to those devotees. Otherwise, as you said, if mind would have not been impacted, right? So they should have continued with those.
No, of course
right?
not. How can you say that? When
because
you are interacting with people,
yeah,
the reason you have a body is so that you are able to interact with people. If the body is not functional, how are you going to?
no, not functional means it was not well, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
not
so it is
functional.
impacting them also.
No, impacting means you're not agitated by it. Now that he can't speak to his devotees, he's not like crying, oh my God, I can't talk to my devotee.
No, it is not crying. Means he is not able to carry the day-to-day activities. See, to carry the day-to-day activities, you need body, right? A well body, a well-maintained, healthy body.
Right.
So when one doesn't have that, the things will impact, right?
Yeah, I think, Taran, you're mixing two things. Number one is your body is weak. It's like a car. The car is not functional. How do you drive it? You can't drive it.
Correct.
Now the other thing is the car is not functional, so I'm agitated. I need not be agitated. By being affected, we are talking about the agitation that it's lost.
No,
Not talking about.
Yeah, I'm expanding it that affectedness is not just agitation. Affectedness can be anything.
No. But no, we are not using it in that sense.
Like, see, okay, take the example for a single individual, like us, not like enlightened soul, Buddha, and anyone. So I do meditation daily. If I am not well, I am not able to do meditation. It has nothing to do with anyone else. No agitation, nothing. it is still impacting me, right?
No, here we're not using it in that sense. When he is referring to a law that we are speaking of in class, we are using it in a certain sense. You can't change the meaning and say something.
No, it is a practical experience that happens. So that law has to explain this experience,
Taran,
right?
don't keep on repeating. I've already answered that thing.
So how do we explain
body
this?
I told you already, the body is a vehicle that is used for certain tasks. Now, this body is not well, you cannot use it for that task.
No, I use my body for my meditation.
Whatever task you're using it for, you cannot use it.
Yeah.
It's like any car, any vehicle. So when we are talking about affectation, and when your body is not well, you won't go and play football, obviously.
So it is impacting my subtle activity of mind, which is meditation. The body being not unwell is impacting the subtle activity of meditation.
Now, I'm not going into meditation because, as you know, we are in the anti-meditation brigade. So I'm not going in that direction.
Then fine. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, go ahead, Omkar.
Would you
I
please help me?
shouldn't say we are in anti-meditation. We're not anti-meditation, but we have some very strict stuff around it. Yeah, go ahead, Omkar.
No, you mentioned that my point wasn't exactly correct. So could you help me identify what was wrong? Because I remember we discussing affecting means changing the condition or the state of something permanently. That was the definition. So what was wrong in this? So purely by, or maybe I was not answering his question, but this definition is correct, right?
Yes. No, this was given in the context of that coma example, where we said the body is completely shut down. Remember? And when the body is completely shut down, Deepraj cannot go and do mathematics. You cannot do marketing. Elsie cannot write plays. So by using external means, even if you do it, give somebody anesthesia, how are you shutting down their minds like that? Nobody will allow you to do surgery, but it'll give you anesthesia. Now you shut down the mind's activity. So how you shut down the mind's activity? That means gross is affecting subtle. It was that discussion in which this was spoken. Now don't go there, please. This whole class is going to disappear. Prashant, look at how much trouble you have caused. So you won't go there. You have next week. You all sit down and discuss this till doomsday. I suggest you don't, because in class there's so much confusion. I don't know what will happen in group.
Janki, as per, the definition of affectation has to be the same, whatever the situation, right? Is that correct?
No, please. This is an English language. When we are talking about affectation in the sense Prashant has used the term now, the mind is not or affected or not affected. We are talking here of the agitation that it's caused.
No,
what you're saying is true is also true. That no amount of agitations can affect the functioning of your intellect. Because if you claim it does, then again gross is affecting the subtle.
No.
So this is all in different contexts. Now you all are going to create so much.
No, Janki ji, but when we discussed this law that the gross does not affect the subtle, as is experienced by Prashant, there was a lot of confusion about what does affectation actually mean. And we came to this common understanding that affectation means changing permanently the condition of that which is supposedly affected.
Yes, but
and everything has to be analyzed on that definition.
No. Please don't get stuck into something. Here we are not talking about permanent affectation. He is not talking about that. He is talking about an ability that he had, which temporarily or permanently, he has made no comment on that, which temporarily has become unavailable to him because of a situation in the gross. So all we have to do in this case is explain how in this case the Gross seems to have affected the subtle. That's all we have to do in this context. Now you can't say, no, I remember that definition there, and so you have to push it in here. No, because you're dealing with language. And language is always in context, and context is here. This is what he means. Now, when you're answering a question, you're free to use your definitions. But when the questioner asks a question, you have to go with his definition. And preferably, your answer should also use his definition. Otherwise, he will not be satisfied with your answer. So you have to know that flexibility of who is asking what question in what context, and therefore what aspect of the definition is now applicable. If it was so simple as you're saying, oh no, I'm going to pick up that definition and put it here, then you wouldn't need the study of philosophy. Philosophy is going to give your intellect the flexibility to know what, when, where, how. So what you're saying is right, but it's out of context.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Kalyan Kumar. That is from the standpoint of idealist theory of perception, which we studied yesterday. I don't know what you're referring to, Kalyan, but I think in all good sense, we should not go to theory of perception now. Otherwise,
your response, I said,
must be something I said, but don't go there. Unknown to unknown, this will become.
Okay.
So, Momita, foreseeing the inability and therefore making changes that you don't create unintended consequences is a sign of intellect. Yes, correct. The Buddha not seeing disciples when ill. Yes. Also, the body is not capable. At that point, why are you forcing your body to do what's not capable? It's not capable, so it will not be at that point be able to execute the action. Why do it at all? If you have the option, of course. Taran, foreseeing opens another paradox of questions. If able to foresee, then why not be able to do something about it? And if all pre-decided, then no action is necessary. Well, there are some cases where you can do, and there are some cases where you can't do. It doesn't mean you don't have to go to such an extreme stance. If I can foresee, I should be able to do. If I'm not able to do, therefore it means everything is predestined. No. If you're able to foresee, yes, you will be able to do in some cases and not in some cases. So the question of predestination does not arise.
Also, Janki-ji, for the Buddha, I mean, the whole point is that we are taking things as they are. So we are going to fall ill, we are going to grow old. That doesn't mean that we are going to do something about, oh, I'm going to be immortal, I'm not going to fall ill.
So there are some things where we can foresee and therefore do things, and some things where we can't foresee where we can foresee but still not. For instance, right now we can foresee that what human beings are doing is going to ruining the environment. We can foresee what's going to happen, but can we do something about it? We can do ourselves what we plant 1,200 trees, but if somebody is cutting down 12 million trees at the very point we are planting 1,200, we're doing what we can, but we're not going to really impact it. Now we'll plant another 1,000 trees, but if people are cutting at a rate faster than we have the ability to plant, what are we going to do? That's that. We'll just create one place on this earth where there are enough trees for all of us to go and breathe. Imagine eventually, suppose people start coming to the Vedanta University campus just to breathe. Can you believe that? It's the only place on earth where there is a nice place to breathe. That'd be such a sorry state of affairs. So Momita, yes, in some cases we can, in some cases we can't. Yeah. You want to say something else?
Yeah, in fact, I was thinking that all our anxiety also comes from the attempt to control things we should understand that is not in our control.
Some things are within our control. That you will exercise is within your control. that you will eat right is within your control. That you will sleep correctly is within your control. COVID will come, not within your control. But if
Yeah,
you
so that's what I'm saying, that when we get
Hey,
anxious,
stop. When you do whatever is within your control, you will not get anxious because you've done all you can and the rest is not doable.
yeah, no, so I was saying that our anxiety, my question is it true that we get anxious because we are not able to discriminate between what is in our capacity to control and what is not in our capacity to control?
Correct. We are not able to distinguish, and we are not able to distinguish what is within control, what is not within control, and we do not have the ability to work on what is within our control. We don't execute it. So you just sit and worry and worry and worry. What are you executing?
So the third point is also that we don't have the ability to work on.
Don't have the ability. We don't execute. We do more theory than practice. So when your words, actions, and thinking don't align, obviously agitation results. Because now you're in a worse condition. You know what's going to happen and you're not doing. So this is worse now.
Yes. Okay.
Right. So now coming back to absence of calumny. There's no control on the fruits of any action. There's no direct control on the fruits of any action. You control the fruits of the action by controlling the action. Now, coming back to absence of calumny, that you will not say anything bad about anybody. Why will you not say anything bad about anybody?
Two reasons. The first reason is that it creates negative.
One second. Kalyan Kumar, what is it? Because I saw you unmute first. Kalyan Kumar, why?
Okay. Because talking ill of others leads to agitation of your own self. The second is that, more importantly, it gives you a feeling of moral superiority.
Very good. Excellent. Nice, no, our classes. One line, if everybody just says what has been said, and we can just move forward. Everybody knows what was said. Now let's go on. Right? Is that feeling, and the problem with moral superiority is it is so unrecognizable. I have grown, you have not. I have intellect, you don't. I know the right action, you don't. That feeling of morals, it is not recognizable. I tell the truth, you don't. Everything is like that. And to see that ego functioning over there, very difficult. So that's the biggest problem with it. But the nice part is that if you just think well of everybody, you yourself stay a happier person. You give people the benefit of the doubt. Yes, this person did do. You're not denying it. It's not toxic positivity, what they call. You're not denying it. You're saying, yes, the person did this, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt as well. He did it, but I don't know what is the problem. Came across an article promoting harmless gossip to overcome social anxiety. This is the problem in today's society. I really don't know whether Vedanta has become irrelevant or not. Vedanta will say something like absence of calumny. Or big, easy example, don't be attached to your family. Okay? We are telling a group of people not to be attached to their family. But their own condition currently is that they are taking their old age or old parents and putting them somewhere and forgetting that they exist. This advice of non-attachment cannot be given to this person. This person has to get attached to his parents. He has to learn that he has to serve his parents, take care of his parents, be grateful for all that his parents have done. Now we are saying his current condition is he's throwing them in the dustbin. Now, what shall we say? How can we even say that? So, you're right, Momita. the current condition is that nobody can get along with anybody. So what happens is this, when these people get together and talk and they gossip about everybody else, for that brief period of time, they feel one with one another. कि हम लोग सब अच्छे हैं, वो बुरे हैं. That brief sense of, what should I say, oneness comes about. That is why this person, whoever has recommended it, has said so. So for those people at that time, please go and gossip. But now that you are in Vedanta class, please understand something else. You see, that people are not able to relate to each other. They don't know how to hold a conversation with each other. So the only conversation they're capable of is ki hum log, like we have all met. Suppose we've all met. Suppose you and Elsie and Deepraj and Omkar, we've all met. Then what? We have no capacity of conversation. Then we'll say, oh, you know what Jayashree did? Then we all feel very good. Then next time there's Jayashree and Elsie and Momita and Deepraj, and then we all sit together and we talk, but Omkar's not there. You know what Omkar is like? That's the only way they know how to converse. So we won't stop them. We'll say, yeah, please go ahead, do it. Because otherwise you will be totally lonely. So everything is right in this world, unfortunately. It just depends to whom. In Vedanta class, when you come, do not say ill of others. If you've not yet arrived at any sort of reasonable way of living, go Baba, gossip at least, kuch to karo. Interact with humans. So this is the problem with this whole teaching of philosophy, is that everything is right. It's only a matter of from where. Very problematic, no? So that's why Omkar, it's a good example of what we were talking. To go to that context and speak from that context is what is intellectual flexibility. Which you lose when you come to Vedanta, unfortunately. Very interesting thing. You absolutely lose it when you come to Vedanta, because first thing that you are told is definition. Don't go outside the line. Then as soon as you learn the definition, you are told, what nonsense definition. Forget your stupid definition.
Because just before you answered my question, you just told Taran that don't change the definition.
It really sounds like what
he was
people are
trying to,
making. Yeah, I know, I understand that. There's a very famous Zen story. So the two men were fighting and they came to the Zen master. And the Zen master, one fellow said to the Zen master, and you know what is, it's so stupid. How can he do this? It's so stupid this man is. He should just be fired. So the man said, so the Zen master told that man, yes, you're right. And that man was very happy with him. He went away. Then once he left, the other man told him, how could you say he's right? What then? He did this and he did this and he did this. So the Zen master looked at him and said, yes, you're right. So the guy was also happy he went away. The Zen master's wife was standing behind him. So she said to him, Are, how can you say both are right? So he turned around to her and said, yes, you're right. Because everything is based on a context, everything is right. What do you say? It like sounds almost funny, but that's the way it is. That's why you don't listen to a guru tell another student something. You must go and speak to your teacher directly and get direct advice from him. Just like you go to your doctor and get direct advice from your doctor. You don't go to your friend and take his prescription and say, okay, main yahi chala leta hu. Because it's so context based.
A lot of people do that, Janki. They do take other people's.
And then face the consequences. I mean, then it's random. Maybe you got the right prescription, maybe you didn't. It's random. But if you got it directly from your doctor, then you know that that is what is meant for you. Now, so many hands are up. No Bhagavad Gita today. Yes, Aditi.
Janki ji, so
So the correct way to do this whole thing is keep the laws fixed. And in case there is any discrepancy in your thinking, then you have to realize where am I going wrong? Or
Context, application.
context. Or yeah, is it situational? Or I mean, it's a great point. So for us to, just understand that everything is situational. It doesn't apply. But my only point was to keep the laws in the fixed place, right?
Yes.
And then
Because
work
right now,
everything around it.
just think of what your doctor does. They have learned a whole bunch of stuff in MBBS. When you go to them, they don't offload the whole MBBS. They just give you a particular prescription for that context, in that situation, for your particular ailment. Same ailment with somebody else, they may not give that prescription. So that is the ability of the intellect. Learning the theory is okay, you can learn it by rote. But then its application at a point to a person in a particular way, that's your intellect.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense, because then there wouldn't be psychologists, because then if everything fitted to the same problem, you could just look into the
Everything is like that.
template and do that.
Yeah, engineering is also like that. When you go to engineering college, they will teach you engineering. But when you go to the field to work, the requirements of that place, of that situation, of the materials available, is not going to be what was written in your textbook.
Fair. Okay. Thank you, Janki ji.
Kalyan Kumar, were you next?
Yeah. I think Bharat was earlier.
Oh, is it? Okay. Okay, go ahead. I'll take Bharat.
Yeah, my thing is on these qualities, let's say not talking ill of others. Personally, there are situations where I know it is not a quality which,
Kumar, I can't see Kalyan and I can see Aditi.
yeah.
Aditi is wondering what has happened.
Okay. So on this quality, for example, we know that we should not talk ill of others, etc. But there is a huge urge in me in some situations that I have to let out and talk ill or bitch about somebody else to somebody. All that stuff keeps happening. So practically, there is awareness, there is knowledge, there is intellect saying, okay, you should not do this. Janki ji has said in the class, all that stuff. But when you actually go and you think of your boss or colleagues who's really done something which irritates you, then you start the thing about release of that which Momita was talking. So how do we practically handle these things?
Go ahead and say whatever you want. Only be careful who you're saying it to.
Okay.
Don't say it randomly to anybody at all. I mean, if you're saying something about your boss, don't tell your colleagues. Tell your wife. If you're saying something about your wife, don't tell her mother. Tell your colleague or your sister or your mother. Not your mother. Mother will tell her one day. Get angry and tell her. So you have to know whom to vent. It's okay to vent. It's no problem in that. Remember, you can't frustrate yourself also. You learn so many wonderful things here. You can't practice them all. They'll all go step by step by step. So you have to use that and apply. Okay. So, okay, now I have to vent because this guy has driven me nuts. So vent. But don't let any negative feeling towards that person stay in your heart. Let be over with it. At least that much we must maintain.
That second part, how do we do? Because that stays, no?
No, you can't. You can't keep any negative feeling in your mind. Then you realize that is my lacuna and I have to work on this. I'm not gonna let this. I'm not gonna let this stay. You want to say something bad and finish it, fine. But no negativity am I going to encourage in my heart. It's gonna come back and bite me only.
Yeah.
That person doesn't know, but I'm going to be kept awake at night because of what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Prakash's iPhone. Some restrictions on questions so that the class will move. Now, what do? I don't know. Half the time people tell me the great advantage of this class is that there are questions. And half the time people tell me the great disadvantage of this class is that there are questions. अब मैं क्या करूं? I must have some. Who shall I stop? Now Bharat has his hand raised. Shall I say now Bharat can't ask because now enough, no more questions. And he will say, अच्छी बात है, सबको allow हुआ, मुझे ही नहीं allow हुआ. And then I'll have a third problem that people will then be sending me messages saying, you let everybody ask questions, but when my turn comes, you stop. What am I to do? Please give me a break, all of you. You all are exerting my intellect too much. Yes, Bharat.
It's very interesting to note that my teacher used to give Swamiji a list of 5 questions.
I can't hear a word you're saying. I don't know if anyone else can hear you. I can't hear a word.
Now?
Nothing. Sorry, Bharat, you're going to have to write. In the meanwhile, we will do Daya Bhutesh. Sada Sarvada Anugraha Buddhi. You cannot afford to compromise on that. Just can't afford. Sorry. You can allow your mind to gossip if you wish to. But you cannot allow your mind to go away from wishing the welfare of everybody. When you hate the person, wish his welfare. This is no compromise. Just not going to allow. To allow any negativity towards a person. Want that person should not be in my life. Cut him out of my life. This is not a negotiable thing. This hatred towards a human being is the worst kind of thing you can have. So no way, I'm not gonna allow it. Okay, chalo yaar, he's very, very irritating. तो उसको एक दो थप्पड़ दे दो, चलो इतना भी कर लो. But no negative thought in your mind. एक दो थप्पड़ दोगे तो please be careful किसको दे रहे हो. If you go and whack Bharat one, then भुगत लो, मैं क्या करूं. So be careful. But you know, whatever you do in your heart, you will not compromise on this one idea that no, I will not think negatively about this person. And that's what Daya Bhuteshu is. It's not just about not speaking ill, but in your heart, you sort of go and speak ill if you want, but do not have any negative feeling in the heart. Aloluktvam, no covetousness, no longing for what somebody else has. Everybody gets what they work for. If you work for it, you will get. So don't worry ki usko kya mila. By thinking about usko kyun mila, you're not getting anything. So you want to do something, work. You want a Mercedes, think, I want a Mercedes. By when do I want a Mercedes? I want a Mercedes in 2030. Then what do I have to do from now to 2030 to get the Mercedes? Do no. Why are you saying bad about the other fellow? You do whatever you want. And if you do all this, you will be a gentle person. Very, very gentle. Because in your heart only there is gentleness. When there is no physical craving, no emotional negativity, no intellectual arrogance, then how on earth can you not be gentle? Bharat, people who indulge in gossip coming from a platform of loneliness might have bigger pitfalls of agitations and superiority. If so, how did this help? It helps for the moment. That poor person is in such a bad state that if you take away this also, he will commit suicide. You know, this is the whole problem today, that the general level is so low, it's not funny. It's like people are on the state that they can't get along with their parents, they can't get along with their children. They feel nothing for their parents, they feel nothing for their children, they feel nothing for their neighbors, not feeling only anything. It's a pretty, I mean, we are sort of live in a little sort of, I don't know, vacuum or something. So it helps them. You can't say it won't help you in the long run and all. At the moment, they want immediate help. They need a painkiller. Extreme tamas, yeah, I suppose you can say extreme tamas. The general state is a bit low, which you will see around. So you have to be kind and let them have their way. Everything in universe is cyclical. So if subtle effects gross, where did it go? And gross does not affect subtle, then the cyclical process breaks. Now, when you say everything in the universe is cyclical, it's very important to know what is this everything speaking about. Context.
Everything means everything.
No.
Which is not cyclical? Which process is not cyclical? Sorry?
Gross affects subtle and subtle affects gross. It's not cyclical.
No, it is cyclical in the sense, okay, we will not take much time. I thought that
Beyond time. So you bring it up in group discussion and you people discuss whatever you want. Next time is group discussion. Nobody is allowed to speak for more than 1 minute at a time, and everybody has to try to speak whatever they want to say in the briefest possible words. All right? Group discussion is not, as most people seem to think, a holiday. Everybody is expected to come, everybody is expected to participate, and everybody will get irritated and angry and say, what a waste of time and everything. Never mind, please waste time. Waste 1 hour in the name of the Gita and your comprehension of Vedanta. Better to waste it for the Gita than to waste it for anything else. So don't say, no, I won't waste my time. Please waste it a bit. Okay, so there's no exceptions to this. Everybody has to come to group discussion.
But Janki ji, next Sunday is Diwali, no?
Is it?
Yeah, Dhanteras.
So what? On Diwali day, why would you not read the Gita? If you don't read the Gita on Diwali day, which day do you want to read it on? This has become a very strange thing in this country. Festivals are there in India so that we remember God. The way we are functioning now is on the day of the festival, let us not study about the Lord. Now we are free to do everything else. So no Dhanteras, no nothing. You go and you do your studies. In the academies, there's not a single day off. With Diwali days, you stop, it'll be shocking. Swamiji will say, what? Whole year you will think of God, and on the day of a festival, on a holy day, you will say, no God today. Isme kya arth hai?
No, it's not, Janvi, it's not about not remembering God, it's remembering God in a different way. So there is a Dhanteras puja in the morning, for example.
Yeah, organize your time accordingly.
Yeah, that's a different.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to choose. Nobody is saying don't do Dhanteras. Do Dhanteras, do Chaudas, do Dhan, any Dhan you do, it doesn't matter. 1 hour you do your group discussion. 23 hours you have to do all the other Dhans you'd like. Okay, so now what? Today's Sunday. I have to tell you what happened. As usual, nothing happened. A little money somebody gave us, thank God. Jayashree called up one person and said, please give money. And she hung up and he put money into the account. He's one of our biggest donors, and I'm quite surprised he gave again. He's already given like what? 35 or approximately 35, 40 lakhs. So she called him again, and again he gave. Very sweet. So there are good people like that. So our work is somehow continuing. So here's what you're seeing now. Can you see the office is getting, no, this is the library. It's getting somewhat ready. These tiles have, have gone very dull, but when you see them finally, assumably, they will be better. This is the office. You saw those, no? These things have moved forward since all this. These are our staff quarters.
No, these are new pictures.
These are new pictures. These are our staff quarters. This is the room where currently all the stuff is kept. But if you look at the right end of that room, is a little platform for them to cook their meals and all. And on the left is the bathroom. So all the staff also have attached bathrooms. We're giving a good quality life to everybody. This is our laundry room coming up. When you come there, that's your laundromat. You will go there, put your clothes in the washing machine and hang it to dry. That's the laundry room. This is the office and the library. Are you all seeing more shape to it now? Slowly, slowly, some shape is coming. These are the two washrooms. Yes. Today, all the JCB is there making the road for the cabin, which is supposed to come in 5 days. I don't know, this cabin wala, so he's going on and on, sending. Show the pictures of the cabin, no? It's ready. So the inspection was done. And now he has to pick it up and bring it there.
Actually, you have the latest one. I don't have the latest ones.
No, cabin pictures. It's in the site group, Jayashri. So it's ready and ready to come. And please, everybody, do something about the funding. When the cabins come, the next lot has to be paid for. When cabin number 1 comes, I think now what we'll do is we'll order just 5 more, just to keep our life a little more relaxed. And then when we get some more money, then we'll order another 5. Anything else? After this now, after Diwali, let's take a trip to the plot and see how you'll see the cabin and all that. You'll see everything. After Diwali. You all are all available after Diwali. The week after Diwali, we'll go. Does anyone want to make any suggestion on date? Let's see how many people here are in Mumbai. Surekha, Meera, are you all even in Mumbai? Nobody. Momita is in Mumbai. Jayashri is in Mumbai. Okay. Prakash, Mumbai. Hardly 3-4 people are here are in Mumbai. Couldn't find it, Jayashri, the picture of the cabin. You want to show it?
Yeah, she sent them to me. I'm just pulling them up. Yeah.
After 26th October. Jayashri, you'll organize something after 26th October to the thing. If anybody wants to come from overseas, from out of Mumbai, then we should take that person's dates into consideration too. So when I say ready, of course, you know that this is the state, it is ready there. Then it comes to the plot and then it gets readied further. Now he has to pick this up and take it to the plot. At least we've moved a bit. Okay, so that's it for today.